Hi, Mark. Here. It's Thursday, March the 19th, 9:50 a.m. Eastern, 1:50 p.m. GMT. US session well underway and going into the afternoon portion of the European session. Let's have a look at the US dollar index in light of uh, a lot of central bank activity over the last couple of days. We've had the Fed yesterday kept rates unchanged in the US. This morning, Bank of England and ECB both rates unchanged as well. Same thing with Swiss National Bank, same thing with Bank of Japan. In fact, the only central bank who has made a change and who raised rates earlier, a couple of days ago, was the Royal Bank of Australia. So that's pretty interesting and certainly something to watch. As today unfolds, we're seeing US dollar being sold off, certainly on the index, after yesterday's strong rally following the hawkish hold that we saw yesterday. US dollar reacted positively. We saw demand for US dollar. So far today, giving up about half of those gains. I've got resistance again at 100.09, tough level to break above for buyers, and I've got support at 99.64. We'll see if the selling continues or if there is a turnaround, if buyers do step in and the demand for US, now that the US session is well underway, and a bounce up off these levels, and buyers look back up to test that 100 level. We'll see how that plays out through the US session. And now that the US stock markets are open as well, we'll look for any kind of relationship, typically an inverse relationship between stocks and the US dollar. Let's have a look at the majors for now, how the euro is performing. And there you see, after yesterday's sell-off, red candlestick selling euro buy US. That was strong US yesterday. There's the euro fighting back so far today. Got support at 114.39 and resistance being tested at 115.09. We'll see whether that does continue following the ECB rate decision. If there's going to be a demand for US and selling, a demand for euro and selling US dollars, buyers will be looking up at the 115.56, yesterday's high, testing intraday resistance right now. Alternatively, if this doesn't hold and we see US dollar fight back, sellers will be looking to get back below the 115, looking down at support. Let's have a look at the pound against the US. Also sold off yesterday, and there you see it fighting back today. Today's strong pound, weak US dollar. Pound has recouped all these losses almost from yesterday. I've got support at 132.42, and I have resistance right now at 133.50. It's already a 100 pip move and looking strong. The pound going into the end part of the European session. Again, we'll see if that can be maintained, if buyers can hold on to that, or if US dollar does turn things around and we see a bounce down off this tough level and sellers do step in and look back down at the support area and look to sell pound and buy US dollar. Not the case just yet. Let's have a look at the US against the yen. Yen really putting in a very strong run at this point against the US. US being sold off at that 159.83 tough level. We know that. Look at the big push down from 159.83 all the way down already to 158.13, already well past the average true range for the day. We'll see whether that can be maintained or if buyers are going to step in if we see the US dollar fight back and a bounce up off this 158 area, the support area being tested right now, and buyers can look back up to get to the 159 or higher. Big sell-off on the US yen. And then let's look at the US Canadian. And as it also held rates yesterday, Bank of Canada moved higher earlier today, the US against the Canadian. I got support at 137.13 and resistance 137.48, matching the resistance from beginning of the month. US giving up those gains now, Canadian fighting back, and sellers looking to test the 137 support level. Slow higher high and a higher low at this point. We'll see whether Canadian strength can continue and US dollar weakness like we're seeing now, or if the US is going to fight back and look to maintain above the 137, look up at resistance. So very interesting what we see. US dollar, which has been the safe haven, certainly over the past few weeks, the safe haven asset currency in this geopolitical conflict that we're in, continued that yesterday following the Fed interest rate decision, a hawkish hold. And today, not managing to hold on to those gains, giving up gains against all the other majors. However, a long way to go, and we, with resistance and support levels being tested right now, we'll see whether there can be a bounce, whether the US can fight its way back, or whether dollar weakness persists through the rest of the day. Good trading, and I will see you at the end of day.